what stride into it? Why stride into it? Great question. So I have a longer list than I would like of ideas that came to me that I just never executed. And so for me, ideas are never the problem, or were never the problem, but executing those ideas are what I struggled with. For example, back in like 2014, while I was still in college, I remember asking my youngest sister what she wanted for a birthday gift, and she said she wanted an American Girl doll, to which I did my research, was trying to find a doll that was as dark as our complexion, and did not find one. I think the darkest one was like the inside of my hand, right? My palms. And then that led me to reaching out to the company to see if they would expand the line and bring on darker dolls. And they, responded back to my letter that I sent them with 2 bookmarks. It's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, but no thanks. To which then people were telling me, why don't you create your own doll line? I'm like, I have no idea where to begin. This is something that's completely new to me. And I never did anything with that. And I want to say about 6 months to a year later, there were a ton of companies that started to expand their lines and made dolls that were as dark as our skin complexion, which was a great thing, but I wish I would have done that. Second thing, this was probably post-college now. I remember just walking around in the stores and thinking at the time, man, there's really 2 or 3 journal or notebook companies that are really dominating the market. And there was a specific type of planner that I was looking for, wasn't really able to find it at the time, and I was like, you know what, I could create my own planner. And I thought about it, started working on it, didn't do anything with it, put it to the side. Again, 6 months to a year later, all of these different planner companies became a new up and big thing. Another thing, I had a layover in Minneapolis. This is when I wasn't living in Minnesota. I had a layover in Minneapolis. I remember walking around the airport and looking for cold pressed juice. I was just like asking the information desk, do we have any place that serves cold pressed juice? And he's like, Orange Julius. I'm like, that's not the kind of juice I'm looking for. And he's like, no, I don't think there is. And I was like, man, I should open like a juice bar in the airport. How cool would that be? Of course, I didn't do anything with it. Lo and behold, a little while later, somebody else does, right? You get the trend? Okay. The last one, and this one, if you feel you want to take this, just credit me later. I remember looking, again, in airports. I had just come back from like a personal development summit, and I was looking around in airports, and I was just like, I feel like there's only one company that really makes the refillable stations, water bottle stations, and it's just filtered water. Like, how cool would it be if in the airport you could refill your water bottle, but like have the option of alkaline water or whatever the pH you want to decide, because obviously you can't bring liquids in or your own water in, and water at the airport is really expensive. I'm blanking on the name of the one company, but I feel like there's really only one company that you see that dominates airports, schools, gyms, right? There's only one refillable water station. Like, that's not a market that really has competition. I was like, it'd be really cool to create a refillable station for these like airports and schools and buildings and etc., right? But having the option of alkaline water and other pH. So again, that was an idea that I didn't do anything with. I haven't seen it yet, so if you're someone who's interested and you need an idea, like if you do it, just, give credit where credit's due. But I say this all to say, it really became a thing for me where I was just like, man, I have all these ideas, but I just never know where to start, right? I don't know how to execute the vision. And that for me is how Stride into it was birthed, because I just remember like praying and asking God, like, what do I do, or how, okay, you're dropping all of these ideas into my mind, but I don't know where to begin, how to begin, who do I call, who do I talk to, and you just like stride into it. So with every idea that now comes to me, I have a method that I lay out, and I just make sure I do anything, one thing, one step, one stride. And I know that it's my job, right? I have to do my due diligence. It's my job to execute and make strides towards that end goal. Otherwise, it's going to be an idea that was, again, just another idea, and then I get to see it lived out through another person. And so for me, Stride, that's one of those things where I was like, okay, this is not something that I'm going to allow just anyone else. Like, God, I feel like this was a gift for me, to me. And so I want to do my part, Lord, in just like being obedient, one, but taking a step, taking a stride each and every day to make sure I execute in the visions that you're giving me, but then I'm not missing out on any more opportunities. So that's how Stride Into It came to be. If you're someone who's like me, who, ideas is not a problem or anything like that, come up with a strategy, right? Start with the strategy and just begin executing every single day, day in and day out. Just begin executing and doing your part, and just watch as God does his part too.